guess it's Scandi ground, one could say. Zip ties. I'm not going to eat it. I could have really turned that into an obscene gesture very quickly, but I'm not that kind of guy. Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center, and welcome to the show. We got a bunch of cool new knives that have just hit our shelves on the table in front of me. And we got a ton of new knives hitting the shelves, which is why we've got another week with a bonus extra episode.
Another one.
Of New Knives of the Week. And we're going to start off with a couple exclusives, and I'm very happy, pleased, and proud to announce that the first of the MKM Bolero and the first of the new blade shape of the Pocket Tango, both of which are my design, have now hit the shelves. The standard versions of each of these hasn't made it through customs yet, but our exclusives did. So you get the exclusives first. So
they're special.
I guess we are a little bit special. These, in addition to both having red burlap micarta handle scales, which are exclusive to the Knife Center, both of these are the only of the versions that are going to be coming out to have Magna Cut steel. So if you want that over all others, these are your options right now. Let's start with the Bolero. Well, no, let's start with the Pocket Tango.
Fight.
So the Pocket Tango was my first production knife collaboration, originally available in a Nessmuck-inspired blade and a sheepsfoot, a modified Wharncliffe style blade. I'm not calling it what you want me to call it, Thomas. And we actually have some of the exclusives in the modified Wharncliffe still available. The standard Nessmuck is still available. There was also a Knife Center exclusive blade shape in the sort of cleaver razor blade-esque profile. We still have those available too. But the clip point blade shape is new for 2026, essentially. Specs are otherwise pretty much the same. You got a sub 3-inch blade, Magna Cut steel, and a burlap micarta handle here with a gold pivot collar. It's a 3.5 finger grip for me by design. This kick up here at the back, take your pinky. That's really great for manipulating the blade. And this clip point kind of combines the best aspects of the two original blade shapes, the Nessmuck and the modified Wharncliffe. You've got the piercing of the modified Wharncliffe, but more belly, little less belly than the standard Nessmuck, but more belly like the Nessmuck. So a bit of the more jack of all trades shape, perhaps. I think it looks pretty nice. I'm a little bit biased, of course. The sheath is black leather, same as it has always been. It is a magnetic pocket sheath. It's not designed to go on the belt. It is designed to slip into your pocket, and the magnetic flap goes on the outside, keeping things secure. Handle angles backwards, so when you're going into the pocket past the knife for your other stuff, it stays out of the way. Also makes it a little easier to resheath because you're bending your wrist a little bit less to get it back into the pocket. And it's a completely ambidextrous design as well. If you've never tried a pocket fixed blade, you should. You could try this one. Or you could try another one. You don't have to try this one, but you could try this one.
He really wants you to try that one.
I would appreciate it. Just saying. The Bolero is a folding evolution of the Pocket Tango. So here I'll hold up. You can see the similarities in the handle right there. Obviously, it's a little bit broader. And at this point, the only blade shape on the Bolero is this Nessmuck-inspired shape. Magna Cut steel, burlap in red for the handles, silver or a gray pivot ring on this. This one does not have the gold pivot ring. The prices on both of these coming in just under $225 right now. Made in Italy by Lion Steel, both of them. This is one of Lion Steel's first crossbar locks that they have released, or yes, we have released it technically. And it is quite nice, very tight, very stable in the open position. In fact, one of the most stable crossbar locks in that locked open position that I have ever felt. Good job, Lion Steel. The blade has a continuous curve, great for those slicing cuts. We've got some pretty nice, I think, decorative elements here with this sort of gentle jimping here under the thumb and at the back spacer, and you can see the shape of that gentle jimping is carried through that titanium back spacer as well. And then my favorite thing is actually, well, the closed position I think is pretty nice, but I really like how we were able to do the pocket clip. Because I wanted to get a more or less deep carry clip, but maintain this kind of design element from the original Pocket Tango, that exposed tang with the lanyard hole there at the back in that sort of pseudo point. So how do you do that? Well, we did it like this. Sure how to describe it, but maybe the pictures can do it. You've still got the back spacer there, but you've got the deep carry clip kind of tucked into the handle right there, as opposed to being mounted to the outside. You've still got enough clearance to get through to put a lanyard on there if you want, but as you can see, it is quite deep carry as well, and it's fully reversible too. So flip it right around, no problem, because it's mounted inside. You don't have to worry about, leaving space for a cutout or anything on the opposite side for the pocket clip to sit in. Just, in my mind, a very, very clean solution. And one more brag, since it's my knife and I get to talk about this. The handle is designed such so you can get all the way up to the heel of the blade, essentially. You can choke right up there for fine control, and yet there's still no tang gap in the closed position right here. Everything in here is just really tight, really precise. You can see we're kind of pushing it to the max of what can fit, essentially, in that section. That's the Bolero. This version is available now. Standard titanium and carbon fiber versions. Should hopefully be not too far behind, but right now, this is the guy. Thank you. That is all for now. Actually, no, it's not. I got a bunch of other knives to talk about. This right here, the NexTool K30. I am pretty well enamored with this. It is an affordable knife, affordable multi-tool actually, and it sort of negates the need to carry, like I used to back in the day, a Swiss Army knife and a standalone like pocket knife, because it has a good enough steel, 14C28N in this case. It's got a pocket clip for convenience. It's got a lock for safety. It's got one hand opening and closing. All those things that I carried an extra pocket knife for because the Swiss Army knife didn't do those things. This has it all. And best of all, the price is only 40 bucks. I don't know if I mentioned that yet. Again, 14C28N, about 2 3/4 of an inch on the blade, clip point shape, good for a lot of stuff in just a general everyday carry sort of perspective. High flat grind, no complaints there whatsoever. It's not the only tool that operates off of the crossbar lock, however, but what is really cool is that you can still do like that crossbar lock thing where you can wrist flick the blade open and closed. None of the other tools that use that crossbar to lock are flipping out at the same time. Whatever they did to make that magic work is pretty magic, and it works. You've got a bottle opener that also runs off of that crossbar lock. You've got maybe the coolest feature, second coolest feature, a 4mm bit driver that also uses the crossbar there. Comes with a number one, I think, so yeah, number one Phillips and 3.5 flathead double-sided bit right there. Other double-sided bits will fit this. Standard 4mm bits will, of course, fit it as well. So you could put whatever you want in there, essentially. But it's a decent selection right out of the box for everyday carry, for sure. I said that was the second coolest. The coolest feature has got to be the big scissors in this case, however. Like a lot of NexTool's newest stuff, these one blade of the scissor features these micro fine-toothed serrations, which can help grab onto material. And you've certainly got a lot of leverage for bigger cuts, thanks to full-size scissors right there. What else we got? Well, we have got tweezers. No toothpick, but you do have tweezers. You've also got a small file with a okayly toothed file. It's not super aggressive in its cutting capabilities, but it is also pretty small. You're only going to be able to do pretty tiny things with it anyway. You got your flathead with a little bit of prying capability built in, non-locking though, so keep that in mind. And then last but not least, on the back, we've got an all sharpened from both sides, actually. So I guess it's Scandi ground, one could say.
Scandal.
A scandal. You could use this as an awl, of course. You could also hold it like so, and that would actually make a pretty okay package opener if you didn't want to actually use the blade for stuff. It's a really cool little tool. The price is right. The quality is, it's spot on. It's not like super premium, but there's nothing about it that feels like cheap or chintzy. It's built really well. I could see this being like just a perfect default knife gift. Even if you don't want to carry it, that's fine. So many people, I think, would appreciate this that aren't even knife people. It's like a good Swiss Army knife, but in some ways, a little bit better. It's not as nice as a Swiss Army knife. It's not put together to that same degree of kind of like nice fit and finish, but it's not bad either, man. Check it out. Now, if you were watching on Saturday in our Knife AQ series, you'll already know that the K30 was in because we showed it in that episode as well. We also showed this, the NexTORCH MT20 Pioneer multi-tool, which is sort of a hybrid like tactical / rescue multi-tool. Maybe a little more tactical, but also kind of rescue too. Comes in at $100. With that, before I get to the tools, you get it with a nylon sheath. It's got a MOLLE compatible snap strap here at the back. You could also carry it vertically. If you decided to like cut that strap off, you have a single. Thank you, Thomas. You have a single horizontal belt loop, or you could just wear it on your belt like so. You could also get, for like $20, there's a rapid access sheath available. I'm not sure if it's, I can't remember if it's Kydex or something else, but it's synthetic type of thing. Like, anyway, yeah, you could get that also if you wish. But the tool itself is not actually a pliers-based multi-tool, even though it does still have a full-size set of pliers. I'm trying to open it from the wrong side. Silly me. Rescue shears, essentially, right there. And NexTORCH being essentially the sister company to NexTool. You've got that half serrated again as well. Being rescue shears, the jaws are offset a little bit so you can get right in there under clothing or fabric. And you've got the blunted tip so you're not going to unnecessarily poke whoever's wearing said clothing. But you don't want to give up the full-size set of pliers either, do you? You've got that as well. Yes, the handles do become pretty chunky when you're using the pliers, but you've got them there. The jaws here are smartly offset only from one side, so you can get closer to the surface with the pliers as well. Nice consideration. You got your wire cutters. All the standard full-size multi-tool bits are there, although bits might not be the right word. You know what I mean. The other cool, very specific implement that I've never seen on a multi-tool before, this guy right here. They call it a cutter for plastic handcuffs, but I could see this being useful on zip ties.
There you go.
Attaboy, nailed it. Cable ties, that sort of thing, that could be a really cool option there. And a spring-loaded, which is cool. O2 wrench on the side. Rescue personnel will appreciate that. You've got a small saw. You've also got a one-hand opening blade. Both of those are liner locking. Steel's 5CR, so nothing to write home about, but it'll get the job done. And then two other implements. You've got a strap cutter right there. You've also got a, where is it? Small flathead right there, and it does stick out at an offset. This is actually replaceable. You can pop this on and off if that does get gummed up. No Phillips head, however, so if you're looking for that on your multi-tool, you're not going to have that. Oh yeah, glass breaker there on the side. You can get it in red or blue or black stonewashed. Take your pick. Let's get back to a full-size knife, and I do mean a full-size knife here. Let's go big for a few. The Doubletap from CJRB. It is a beast, if you couldn't already tell. But it is a beast without a beastly price tag. You've got a 3.86-inch D2 blade here, and the price is about $70. It comes with G10 handles of a few different varieties and an oversized, they call it their recoil lock V2. It is essentially a crossbar lock with a dorsal tab grafted onto it. So you've got multiple ways to interact with that lock. You can use it just like a normal crossbar lock, for one, or you can use it like a shark lock or Sneck super lock where you have that dorsal tab and do it that way. Both offer wrist flick open and closed, finger safe blade path on the closing action as well, which is always a thing I appreciate. You can also open it with the oversized thumb studs, which color coordinate on this one too, which is really nice. Gold around the stud and around the pivot, and then gold G10 for the backspace, or sorry, can I say gold? Orange is the whole time, is what I meant to be saying. What if we could turn oranges into gold just by saying it?
Are the colors in the room with you now?
I'm just imagining a gold orange now. I want it.
It's not nutritious.
I'm not going to eat it. I have other things in mind. This is a cool knife. I do have slightly larger than average hands, and I just have enough space in the standard handhold right here. It's a tiny bit cramped, but not only if I'm thinking about it. If I'm just holding it and cutting with it, it feels fine. You've also got a big unguarded finger choil there at the front for an extra finger's width of handle spacing if you wanted to choke up for a little bit of different levels of control of that continuously curved edge. The D2 here is a little bit thicker to grant it a little more strength, because this is a knife you're kind of going to want to use hard. Just go ham with it. Ooh, cut some ham with it.
Big ham.
Cut some ham and then go ham. I don't know. It's things.
Meat and orange.
It's a beast. And there are certain things where only a beastly pocket knife will do. And now we have another cool option on the affordabler end of the spectrum anyway. How about a beastly fixed blade though? And is there a company out there that does beastly fixed blades better than Work Tuff? If there is, I am unaware of them. And you should let me know in the comments if there is, actually. We got a bunch of new Work Tuff models in, three in particular, but a bunch of different variants of each. This is one of them. This is the Primal. It's got a just about 10-inch blade, K329 steel, very tough stuff. And the price on this is going to be about $279. And the handle feels good. A little bit prescriptive, perhaps. This is not a kind of neutral multi-grip handle design. It is one that is designed to hold your hand in one position and lock it in to that position. And boy, does it feel ready to chop. And I have to be careful because I could probably chop through some of these folders on the table in front of me, and I don't want to do that.
Don't chop the inventory.
Don't chop the inventory. Oh man, now you tell me. Yeah, it's good. It's not a nimble knife per se, but for its size, it does handle pretty well. The G10 on that, those grips, like I said, lock your hand in. They are comfortable feeling. I don't feel like there'd be much in the way of hot spots in actual like heavy cutting use. Just gripping it here in hand, I don't feel any. What else? Really high levels of attention to detail when it comes to a Work Tuff. If you like a crisp spine, this has that, so you can do all that scrapey stuff. Make sure to get all my dead skin cells off of that before we repackage it. Now the downside of a crisp spine is when you go to like bear down with your thumb on it, it can be uncomfortable. They've gotten around that by crowning this section of jimping right there. So that's pretty cool. I like that a lot. And then the edges themselves with Work Tuffs, they're always really highly refined. The edge itself is convex for strength, and it's not a super thin slicer. I mean, these are made to be bashed around and maintain their structural integrity. So a little bit thicker behind the edge as a result. Back to the nimbleness. If you do want to make it a little more manageable for finer details, you've got a guarded finger choil up at the front. So you can choke up quite easily. And it is broad, so it's not a really fine carver, but that does give you more control if you need to use it for that sort of thing. The sheath is behind me right here. It is Kydex, and it comes with a couple of methods for carry. Pop that in there. It does come with a dangler loop, or a drop loop, we'll say. Attach it here, and you've got a loop to attach it to your belt. Pretty weighty, however. I would probably wind up carrying it with the shoulder strap or bandolier that is also included. So you've got options, and options are always a good thing. Yeah. Tactical tool, I guess. Camp tool. That's what I'd be using it for. Smashing through wood, building shelters, building fires. Well, controlled fires, of course. Safety first.
Now you tell me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have said it earlier. I should have said it first. I should have said safety first. How about a custom knife now? Big Chris Custom Knives, some of my favorite fixed blades out there, and this is his Barong pattern, and I am really liking it. What's this? If this is Barong, I don't want to berate. Sorry, folks. Sorry. Unlike the Work Tuff, which is a factory-made knife, or at least a shop-made knife, this is 100% made by hand by one guy, and it is an 8-inch MagnaCut blade. So the price is going to be a bit more than the Work Tuff. We're looking at about just under $1,100 for this. We have a couple, actually at this point when we're filming it, we have already sold several of the other fixed blades from this latest batch from Big Chris, but we do have a guide 4-inch blade knife in stock right now. It's about half the price of this, less than half the price of this, so that is an option. In all the ways that the Work Tuff is a big knife that is not really nimble for smaller work, the Barong is exactly the opposite. You've got the reach, but you've got something that is like, it's not weighty. It's not going to weigh down. It feels agile. It's not going to hit as hard if you go to chop with it, but you could do some slashing, like short machete type stuff with it pretty nicely. You could do a lot of heavier woodwork, batoning, of course. The toughness that MagnaCut brings to the table is going to be really nice there. Big field butchery or camp kitchen work. This could be really, really nice. You're not going to like mince herbs with it like a kitchen knife pattern per se, but you can do a lot with this. The balance part of that is helped out by the tapered tang right there, which is really nice. And the grip, I love. Blue and black Sure Touch handles. So the blue is G10, the black is rubber in this case. And it's a great feel in the hand. It gives you some of that grip of rubber without it being so grippy that you're going to worry about raising blisters under hard use. I like it. I like it a lot. Sheath here is Kydex. Like so. It doesn't come with any belt attachment, but your standard tech lock is going to work great if I don't buy it first. I wish I could afford it right now because it's really nice. It's really nice. Actually, let me see something here. All right. If you're hanging off the handle off the edge of your cutting board back here, you could do some of that stuff. I want it.
Put it down.
This makes this like what I'm thinking about this now is like a great post-apocalyptic large knife, because you could do all the post-apocalypse stuff with it, making fires, fending off attackers and all that, and then you could like still be civilized and do food prep stuff with it.
As one does.
As one fantasizes about we're going to do, although those of us who fantasize about doing things will probably not survive that long anyway. But it's a cool knife. All right, let's go polar opposite, from a big fixed blade to a tiny folder. The GiantMouse ACE Riv. New version of this with titanium handles in a mint green ano. And it's pretty subtle. Like, depending on how the light hits it, it may actually just look gray at times. But then when you turn it, you get that little hint of mintiness, a little minty freshness, which is cool. $255 for this. You got a 2.5-inch S90V blade with kind of a high polished black finish here. Let's see, what is that finish? It's probably a DLC. Yeah, black DLC, which is cool. Wire pocket clip, reversible. Or no, sorry, not reversible in this case. Apologies. Frame lock, of course. It's roughly a 3-finger grip for me and probably for most folks right there. But you do have that unguarded choil or finger choil at the front for a little more of reach right there. Crown spine as well, just like we saw on a portion of that Work Tuff's spine. Let's check out the flipping action on this knife. Ooh. I love the closed profile of the Riv here. I always have. Here we go. Nice. Very good, snappy. You've got the frame lock for the rigidity. It is not wiggling at all. I'm going to put as many fingerprints on this as possible before Thomas does the... No, I got to clean it now, don't I?
Monster.
That's terrible now. I'm sorry. That is the downside, of course, of a high-polished DLC. But when it's not all fingered up, it's very nice. It's very special. There you go. If you like that sort of color, but this is like too subtle, how about the Thorn V2 from Ketuo in a green-blue G10 handle is what the website is calling this version right here. But several flavors are available in some more subtle shades if you wish. Price on this is about 68 bucks. You've got a blade just over 2 inches in 14C28N. So stainless and nice and tough and pretty good edge stability as well. In a shape.
Say it.
Website says cleaver.
Now I'm going to fight the website.
Kind of. It's more sheep's foot than anything else, I would posit. So you can pause it and check my posit if you want. Cool hardware going on. It's standing proud a little bit as opposed to being flush. They've turned it into more of a feature rather than trying to get it to blend in a way, which is interesting. Milled pocket clip, right side or left side, and you've got the blockout plate. And what it's looking like is happening here is you've got a cutout in the G10 handle itself to kind of stabilize the clip from moving up and down. Single screw goes all the way through to the other side, securing said filler tab, which is a pretty cool way to do it. You've got a liner lock for safety. You've got 3 opening methods: blade cutout, front flipper, or standard rear flipper. And the rear flipper works great. Like the Riv, it's sort of a 3-finger grip, or you can use the unguarded finger choil at the front to get another finger up there for a little more power if you need to have a little more power. Cool small knife though. Several from Ketuo to take a look at. This is the Ventr V4. Coming in about 179 bucks. You've got an M390 blade, and you know what, Thomas?
Bingo.
This is somewhat reminiscent of the Benchmade 940's reverse Tanto interpretation, but I would probably call it not that.
And I'm going to call you a disappointment.
The website says clip point on this, and I could see that, although... Ooh, there's just a hint of arc to this, so I don't know if I would feel comfortable calling that a clip point. Interesting. Maybe it is truly a spay blade. It doesn't matter. What's the knife itself? 2.8 inches on the blade length, so it's something you can take just about anywhere because it falls under that 3-inch length. But the downside of many 3-inch folders is you don't always get a full-sized handle. That is something you get with the Ventr. I've got 4 fingers, well, pretty much an exact full 4-finger grip on the knife, as you can see right there. The edge of this right here is getting a little bit pokey. I might actually file that down if I were carrying this, just right on the corner a little bit. That's personal preference there. Milled pocket clip, right side only in this case, and we have a button actuated liner lock. So you could use it as a normal liner lock, or you could use it as the button to maintain that finger safe closing path on the blade, which can be a nice thing. Flicks open really nicely with my index finger there. If you're worried about accidentally disengaging the lock under heavy use, we got a lock for your lock right there. This basically moves a tab of metal up into the path of the liner lock, so it prevents the liner lock from moving. And since the button actuates the liner lock, it also prevents the button from moving. This is the black and gold. Other versions are available. You can get it in silver and black and silver and gold, and that might be it. You can check out all the options down below, however. Prices on them, I think all of them are at that $179. We've also got new versions of the Yakuza from Ketuo today. This is the one that caught my eye the most. 160, just under 168. And with that, you've got blue marble carbon fiber handles with liners. So it's not like super light, but the balance and the lightweightness of it, it's a word, lightweightness, is quite nice. And I love the way this particular blue anodized shade on all the hardware complements the blue in the carbon fiber right there. It's not the same shade, but it is very complementary to what you've got there. A little bit of contrast without being obnoxious. Black stonewashed blade, steel is 154 cm, straight up Tanto. You've got a compound grind, hollow at the back, flat at the tip for a little bit more strength, but it's not a super thick blade to begin with, so just the everyday cutting performance of this I think is going to be pretty exceptionally nice. You can get a full 4-fingered grip on that with room to spare, or at least I can with my hand size. It's just really, it feels really compelling for a daily user. I like the way the handle angles down in this case as well, because you can use that tip a little more effectively. And considering the actual point of the knife is pretty much straight line spine right there, it brings that down, makes it easier to get to that when you need to pierce as well. Inset liner lock for security, blade cutout or a front flipper for your deployment. I like the reverse flick in that thumb or that blade cutout especially nicely. Oh, you've also got thumb studs, I should say. Forgot to mention that. Next up from Ketuo, the Syndicate. The Syndicate. 215 for this. The new versions, we have Ultim handles with a black stonewashed or a non-blackened blade. But the way black hardware kind of shines through Ultim is always kind of worth taking a look at. Now I want to do something. Yes, it's going to be obnoxious, but that's okay. As Thomas adjusts the f-stop over there, probably. Sorry, I got the hankering to do that, and I had to do it. Blade is 3 3/4 of an inch long. It's M390 steel. You've got sort of a harpoon tip going on, $215 for this right now. One of the cool things you see here that you don't see on a lot of modern folders of this kind of price caliber and everything is a full backspacer, not just a partial here, not just standoffs. It's pretty much all the way up to the termination of the blade tang right there. Gold hardware accents the Ultim, including a milled gold deep carry pocket clip, which is pretty cool. And it is reversible, as you can see right there. So that's pretty cool too. Inset liner lock for your safety. 3 opening methods here as well. I might call it 4 actually. You got your flipper tab, which works great. You've got a front flipper, you've got thumb studs, and you've got a little bit of a milled pocket in the blade. And I bet you one could reverse flick it. Someone might be able to. I'm not quite getting what I want out of it to do that. I bet you I could, maybe could reverse flick with the thumb studs at least. Someone could. Darn it. That was embarrassing for me.
Let's watch it again.
I could have really turned that into an obscene gesture very quickly, but I'm not that kind of guy on camera. Handle. You've got sort of this... it's sort of an elliptical shape that's been given some angles to kind of spice it up a little bit, keep it from looking kind of blobby. And as such, you've got a really accommodating and versatile shape. Any kind of hand size should be able to get a pretty good grip on these grips. And last but not least from Ketuo, we have the Kamasu frame lock. $250 for this. You got a 4-inch M390 blade. And this one really feels substantial in the hand. Based on pictures, without looking at specs, I would have thought this looks like a slightly smaller knife, but in hand, as you can see, it ain't. There is about, if I had 5 fingers, this would be a 4.5 finger grip handle design for me, but I only have 4 standard fingers plus a thumb. So I can only conjecture that that's going to be the case. But in any case, very, very roomy on the handle. Titanium bolsters, marble carbon fiber inlays on that. Frame lock for security. Backside is clean titanium and sturdy blade. Not super thin. M390 is not a super tough steel, so the extra thickness on the blade here gives you a little more strength. But really, it's about a long reach and edge retention with this particular design. And good piercing with the modified Warncliffe shape going on. Or, as the website says, reverse tanto.
It's a magical place.
Are you and the website on good terms now? You're not fighting so much?
We'll see.
Kind of does look like an actual reverse tanto in this case, doesn't it? Anyway, if you haven't checked out Ketuo stuff before, you should, because the quality is very good, and especially on some of their more affordable ones, affordable models, you really do get a lot for your money. You actually get a lot for your money on the more expensive ones too. You just have to pay more to get it. Next, go to Bestech next, the Senu. And this, look, yeah, it is a kombu design. You can definitely see his design language in this knife. It may be my favorite of his designs with Bestech so far, only because I love this blade here. I love the continual curve to the edge. I love what that does for slicing. And it's narrow enough and pointy enough. It's a great all-around user for sure. Steel is S90V as well, so edge retention is going to be very, very high. Blade length is about 3.5 inches. We've got gray titanium for the handles with marbled carbon fiber inlays, and you've got full frame locking stability without, just a plain backed frame lock. The front looks pretty much the same as the back because the cutout follows the inlay right there. So that's pretty cool. Another knife with 3 opening methods: a flipper tab, a front flipper, which I refuse to do anymore just because I'm ornery, and a blade cutout. Ooh, and maybe this is a 4th too. You've got the fuller. Flips well, obviously. Feels good in the hand when it is open. Plenty there to grab onto. Shall I try to reverse flick the fuller now and redeem myself from that Ketuo before? Or fall flat on my face yet again?
I know what I'm hoping for.
Nailed it. You have to be pretty deliberate.
Some other time, guys. Sorry.
You do have to be pretty deliberate. It's not a super deep fuller right there, but you could do it if you wanted to. Milled clip there on the back. Nice. Real nice. Next up from Bestechman, which is Bestech's budget subsidiary, or Bestechman, as I like to call it sometimes. Although some of their knives can get fairly expensive too. We have the Cicada's wing, 2 more affordable versions of that knife. We've got, what is this? Stainless steel for the handles with a frag pattern. We've also got this cool kind of shockwood-esque handle. What are they calling that? Wood and red resin handles there in that case. Just under 65 for the wood and resin, just under 60 for this black frag version, but these are just 2 of many new variants that have hit the site. What is the steel? We'll start with the frag one here. Really cool kind of reflective copper finish, almost like a shiny penny. So if you're feeling nostalgic for the demise of the penny, maybe you could get something like this. Steel is 10CR series stainless, so roughly analogous to like your VG10 and that sort of thing, which is to say really good performance at this $60 price point for sure. Blade length itself is about 3 1/8. Enough grip there just for 4 of my fingers. Crossbar locking action. Feels really good. You've got a reversible deep carry pocket clip on this knife as well. It's pocketed into the handles, and because of the frag texture, it kind of blends in. It doesn't feel like a like a void sitting in the underside of that handle. There you go. Really good aggressive push cuts can be had with a blade shape like this, but there's enough belly there where it still can slice pretty decently too, I would say. As for the wood and resin version, same steel, 10CR. We're dealing with a black finish on this one. Bit of contour, just a hint to the handles here rather than being flat. I gotta do it again. Thank you to Phoenix for sending the LR60R to us a while back. It has become our sort of like unofficial flashlight for the show. Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit for you, Thomas. That's pretty excessive, isn't it?
Mind. You got us exposure here.
That's a little better. Look at that, man. That's cool. What can I say? I like knives.
Never would have guessed.
I giggle for knives. Do you giggle for knives? Next up, last from Bestechman today, the Icebreaker. A $56 knife in this case. 3 1/8 inch D2 clip point blade. You see a little bit of a scoop out, meaning it is a clip point. Other flavors and color combinations are available. Aluminum for the handles, purple for the inlays. I believe that's G10. You've got a cool inlaid or raised pattern on it, and you got a button lock for your 2 methods of opening here. You can wrist flick. You got the thumb studs as well, which is nice. Thin blade steel, which is D2 as mentioned. It's going to slice really nicely. Edge retention should be great. Pocket clip is folded over and deep carry and reversible, which is always nice to see on a button lock because even though it's right-hand facing, it's very left-hand friendly in use. Clean profile overall. I like how you can get right up there behind the edge when you want to get right there at the heel for those detailed cuts. Gives you extra room on the handle as a result, but really narrow fit in the pocket, so easy to take with you. And the quality feels very good. 2 slip joints to end things out. The first, the latest in the Gateway series from Jack Wolf Knives, just dropped on Friday before this. And we're actually filming this on said Friday. So right now these are in stock. I don't know how long they are going to last. The last Gateway series knife sold out really quickly, but I did want to at least give you folks a chance to see this. So here it is, the Barlow V2. And my favorite of the handle materials available in this batch, the yellow jigged bone. I have always been a fan of yellow handled slip joints in general, whether it's old school, like synthetic yellow that you would see on like old Case and Camillus knives, all the way up to like the yellow G10 options and the jigged yellow bone right here. Yellow bone especially is just so good. And I love a jigging pattern on a blade too, or on a handle too. So I picked this one. You've got the bolstered Barlow look here, of course. Clip point blade, steel is 14C28N, blade length is just under 3 inches. So it's a very useful everyday clip point shape with a full flat grind for decent slicing. Half stop, really, really nice snap overall. Just everything about this feels top notch. The price feels very fair for what you're getting here in terms of levels of quality, sitting at that $70 point. And hopefully there are still a few for you to get your hands on at this point in time. If not, I could direct you to another option for I think the same price, a little bit less actually. From RoseCraft, this is the Hatchie River Jack, coming in at $62. Specs are very similar here actually. 3-inch blade, 14C28N, with that clip point shape. Not a full flat grind, but still a very everyday capable slicey profile. And tan micarta on this one. A little bit chunkier feeling in hand than the Jack Wolf that we just looked at. Likewise, it has really good snap, however. Nothing feels out of place, fit and finish-wise. I've said a lot about like Jack Wolf slip joints, RoseCraft slip joints since we started carrying them. They really, and Jack Wolf slip joints. They really do give you a really high level of fit and finish for the money, and that is exactly the same with this, the new Gateway series knives from Jack Wolf as well. You really can't go wrong with either of them. So you can check them out if you wish. You can check all these things out at the links in the description, of course. Those things will take you to KnifeCenter.com. And once you've decided which ones you like best, click over there if you like, or at least let me know in the comments what your favorites were this week. While you're over there at the website, don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program, and don't forget about the myriad of payment options we've recently added at checkout, including Sezzle if you want to break things up into payments. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we're signing off. See you next time.